Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by now. Here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Friday edition, a historic edition of the JP Peterson Show, where I'm going to have to do a big old mea culpa, or no, that's probably not the right word. I'm going to, admit that I was wrong. I was wrong. The stadium's going to be built in St. Pete. It's not totally done yet. But even I can say these knuckleheads are going to do this. Welcome into another edition of the JP Peterson Show. Tim Ham joins us from our Dallas affiliate, DSP Media, on FanStream Sports. What's up, my friend? How are you?
Happy birthday, JP. That's a hell of a birthday present you got yesterday.
I did. Yeah, right up the floopus, as my mentor Chris Thomas used to say. Yeah, it's all good, bro. It ain't my money. It ain't my $2.4 billion of public money going to a baseball stadium in a failed location. Oh, it's, and I'll get into this a little bit more. You can never underestimate the absolute ignorance of public officials. You just can't. Because you know what? It's not their money either. But it's your money, a lot of you. And good luck with that. It's all good. Listen, I'm glad the Rays are getting a new stadium because their old one sucks. It's not my money. When it gets right down to it, and by the way, thanks for the birthday wish and for all of the birthday wishes I got. Oh my God. Overwhelming. You guys are you're too nice. I love you all. I thank you all for being fans of the show. It's overwhelming. I really have no words to say, all the Facebook wishes and everywhere else. It's nice. I know there's a few of you out there that don't like me, and that's okay. That's okay. I do what I do. I say what I say. I've been in this business a long, long time, and you got to have tough skin. And one of my other good friends, the big dog, said, "Hey man, don't fear being hated. It really drives ratings." And he would know. And it's okay. But what I do bring to you guys each and every day is honesty, as much as I humanly possibly can, is honesty and non-corporate media takes. We don't have any financial interest in the Rays and in St. Petersburg, so I think we can be a lot more honest with you than maybe other media outlets, which is clear from day one that many of these media outlets were they were in it to win it for St. Petersburg, and now they're going to have to deal with the repercussions of this horrific fiscal disaster that they've created. The same thing they did in Miami. In a time where governments do not need to be wasting money, and local governments do not need to be wasting money when people are hurting so bad. The rents are just outrageous, and the affordable housing thing in this is just political BS. None of it's even guaranteed in this deal. None of it. And even even at their highest aspiration level, it does nothing. It's a minuscule impact to affordable housing. It's just a political talking point, just like the museum and other things in there. A museum where the museum has to raise $10 million to get the $10 million. And oh, by the way, they just asked who for the $10 million that they have to raise? The city. So it's actually the city paying for the whole thing. Okay. All right. That makes sense. It's just buffoonery, honestly. But I am glad, for the Rays fans that are happy that they're getting a new stadium and the Rays are going to stay. I never thought they were ever leaving, and everybody wanted the stadium in Tampa. The fans wanted the stadium in Tampa. MLB wanted it, and Stu Sternberg wanted it in Tampa because that's where the maximum revenue is. And the deal could have been done in 2018 with Stu Sternberg paying less money than he's supposedly paying in this one, much less money. So it was never about Hillsborough County having enough money. They had enough money. The private-public partnerships were always there to be made, but Stu never wanted to deal in good faith. And that's the truth, folks. I know it because I've talked to the people that have done the negotiations. And all he wanted was a blank check. And that's what he got from St. Petersburg. And good for him. I'm glad Stu got everything that he wanted in this deal because, damn, he did. And I was wrong. I was wrong. One of my the absolute things that we say all the time on this show: follow the money. It will lead you to where you need to go. And this is where I was wrong. I thought that any clear-thinking owner, Major League Baseball, anyone that had a financial interest in building a baseball team that could take advantage of the maximum dollars available for the 11th largest market would certainly build their stadium where their fans are, like where 2.4 million people are within a 30-minute drive, not where there's 600,000 or 700,000, not in a cultured area that doesn't even like baseball. They don't go to the games. You building a stadium on the edge of the market where Major League Baseball's minimum requirement is 1.5 million people within a 30-minute drive. They have half of that. Every demographic number tells you this is not going to work. So I was wrong. I did not think that a municipality as small as St. Petersburg would throw $2.4 billion to keep their baseball team, that nobody goes to it. Say it out loud. None of this makes any economic sense. It's complete buffoonery. $2.4 billion. Yes, and that's the real number, folks. And it's interesting that not through all of this lead up, I've never seen anyone in the Times write about the interest that is also going to have to be paid. It was always the $300 million. And yesterday, for the first time, somebody said, oh, and by the way, there's interest. So it's going to be closer to $700 million after the vote. Okay. Thank you.
Double.
And now, double. It's about double. With interest, because, interest counts. That's real money. That's real money.
Just look at your car note.
Yeah.
Or your mortgage payment.
It's real money. Yes. So $700 million from the city, another $500 to $600 million with interest. Who knows where those interest rates are going with interest. And the county still has to agree to this, by the way. Their vote's coming up on the 30th. It's perceived that that's going to be a rubber stamping. If I was one of those folks voting for it, I would look again at this deal. That's for damn sure. But the train is it's on the tracks and it's steaming down. So I'm sure this is going to happen again. It's fine with me. I need my money. But the people in St. Petersburg, $2.4 billion, $700 million from the city, $600 million from the county, another $411 million of real estate taxes that would have been realized on the 22 acres of the stadium, but you're going to get zero. The Rays will pay zero. You get none of the revenue. But hey, it's going to bring a lot of business to St. Pete. That business would have come anyway, easily. You're going to spend $140 million for infrastructure on a development when these type of developments, the infrastructure is always paid by the developers. Throw on another $140 million. St. Pete's got it. Whatever. And you look at some of these other stadium deals where, they tout, oh, this is going to, revitalize the area. Downtown St. Petersburg does not need to be revitalized. Where you look at these other projects in Washington, D.C., these were blighted areas. These were slums where nobody wanted to build anything there. They come in and build a baseball stadium, and then the area explodes around them. You don't take prime real estate in a downtown area and one of the hottest real estate markets in the world and put a stadium there in terms of economic impact. They say, well, they'll bring 11,000 jobs, part-time, mostly part-time, by the way, seasonal jobs for the Rays, ticket takers, low income. But imagine if you'd have built a convention center there or all this other development where the developers pay the cost instead of the city, and you just sit back and make money. It was a golden opportunity for St. Pete to turn around their economic fortunes. They've got $700 million just initially in stormwater upgrades that they have to do. Where are they getting that money now? You have tied yourself to a financial white elephant. And who's to know that what if the Rays don't play anymore? What if they find a way to get out of this lease, which happens all the time? What if the team is sold? I don't want to get into the legal language of it. I haven't seen that part of the contract, but I have a pretty good feeling that they could do it. And listen, first and foremost, and this has always been my number one take on this, it's bad for baseball. The deal with St. Pete is just, it's just objectively, by any measure, a complete boondoggle of hundreds of millions of dollars given to a billionaire when the city of St. Pete has so many other needs for the residents. And with an owner that really hasn't cared too much about the gas plant folks for 15 years, where he was making hundreds of millions of dollars. Never mentioned them once, as far as I know, or it certainly wasn't a priority. And now when, the deal looks right, suddenly it's a very important thing. I think a lot of people are way smarter than that. And they've shown up and protested, and I know who they are, and you know who they are. So all of this political stuff at times, and saying that, anybody who votes against this is against the gas plant people. Come on. That's whatever. But baseball, it's about baseball. You build the stadium where your fans are. It's where the Rays did it. But the Braves did it. You build the stadium where you can maximize your revenues, so you can put that money back into the team. Just the other day, the Rays, we showed it to you. They spend less money of their lower percentage of their revenue than any team in baseball. Lower than the A's, lower than the Pirates, dead last. And I've been telling you this for years. They make over $300 million. They spend less than $100 million on their payroll. That's this year. Most of the years, it's $70 million or lower. And yet we're going to trust this ownership group is going to pour all that money back into the team when they've never done it before. Come on. How stupid are we? How stupid can we be? We just made the same mistake that Miami made. And what has happened with them? Attendance low. Nobody goes. Nobody cares. Terrible location. The owner picked up, took the money and ran. Left, and nobody cares about the Marlins. And they're just stuck with that stadium. And in 2 years, when the newness wears off, it's going to be the same thing here. And they're not going to be able to sell the luxury suites and the premium seating after 2 or 3 years. And it's going to be back to the same old thing. Same old thing. And that's what's bad for baseball. That's what's bad for the Rays. That's why I have opposed this forever. It's not about St. Pete. Love St. Pete. But I feel sorry for the residents and how they got screwed over on this deal. That's really, really bad. I feel sorry for you guys, and who knows what's to come. Maybe this all works out. Maybe this explodes the development in that area. Which was already exploding, by the way. You can't give credit for any explosion in development. That has already long been happening in downtown St. Petersburg, and that's the whole point. This was going to happen anyway. You didn't need to build a baseball stadium. These other places needed a baseball stadium. Houston, Denver, they needed a baseball stadium in those blighted areas to bring it up. You didn't need that here. That's what's so different. You're selling $500-600 million worth of real estate to a billionaire for $105 million, of which $50 million is all he has to pay for the first 20 years. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. But hey, name my money. And
here we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
And will the Rays flourish? I don't think so. I think it's going to be the same issues that have always plagued this team in terms of revenue. Hopefully the stadium's nicer and better, and we have larger, walkways and points of sale and all that stuff. That's going to be fantastic. That's much needed. That is much, much needed. And I'll be happy that everyone enjoys that. That's fantastic. And they got the deal done. And that's great for a portion of baseball fans. But what could have been and should have been did not materialize. And that, to me, is that sad. I was wrong. I thought that there would be some fiscal sanity and that there would be a deal that would make the Rays thrive for generations to come, truly. And I would bet a ton of money that within the next year, Stu Sternberg's going to sell that team for a lot of money, probably $2.3 billion of his initial $50 million investment. Good for him. Good for him. But is that money going to benefit the community? No. It's just going to be taken out. And the Rays, whoever the new ownership group, will be saddled with bad debt and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I don't think as a Rays fan, this is a great day. I don't and I've enumerated the reasons why. I think it still is going to lead to 30 more years of meh, where you complain about revenues that you can't compete and you can't win a World Series and you blame the fans. But Stu got what he wanted. He found a mayor that he could work with, and they got the job done. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to the Rays. Congratulations to the Rays fans that wanted this in St. Petersburg, the 20% of you. Congratulations. And hopefully it all works out well. Again, it's not my money. I wanted baseball to thrive in Tampa Bay, and I just don't think with this location it will ever thrive there. So we'll see.
Well, there's always the next stadium, so we can get it right. You can just start working on that one.
Every 10 years over there in Texas.
Well, our old park, the old ballpark in Arlington, as we called it when it opened, the most embarrassing name in all of baseball, still to this day. Was lasted, right at 30 years.
Yeah, and that was like a minor league stadium that when they got the team, they just kind of built some more bleachers, right?
Well, that was the original one. That was the old Arlington Stadium. Yeah. That they used from 72 till 94. And then they built the what's now Choctaw Stadium in the parking lot. And then now we got hey, we have 2 baseball stadiums, JP.
We couldn't get one done. But now for the 80% of voters that didn't want this in Pinellas County, the way this thing was passed and presented to the public it's typical. It's typical for what happens these days. And it's government. Never underestimate how absolutely inefficient the government will spend your dollars. I mean, for 3% of the people that come and use this stadium as a tourist, you're going to be spending 25% of your tourist tax money. So, and will it? I mean, with all $2.4 billion, you really think there's going to be a return on investment for St. Petersburg? The significant one? Again, it ain't my money. It's their money. Good luck with the, renourishing the beaches and stormwater drainage improvements that you need. Good luck with all that stuff. I feel sorry for those taxpayers. And again, feel sorry for baseball fans. I think it's a loss. It's an L for baseball fans. It's a huge win for Stu. It is a huge win for Stu and his ownership group, which is basically him and Matt and Brian. Congratulations, guys. You guys have made a lot of money. You're going to make even more. I hope it all works out. And it does a lot of good for a lot of people there. The way the deal is done, I just don't really think that it will be that. But again, I was wrong about this. You can prove me wrong again. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. All right. Let's get to some of the comments here today. Bel Air 97 says, will Pinellas County vote no on Rays? It was interesting. I'm going to play some Stu Sternberg sound here in a little bit. Stu was not even celebrating. He wasn't even celebrating. He said, I'm not taking this county vote for granted. So everybody else, I honestly have not counted or tabulated the votes, but everybody in the media seems to think that it's a rubber stamp. So that's what I'm hearing. That's all I can tell you about that. Nathan Elliott says the Rays totally want affordable housing next to the new stadium. Where do you think the concession stand, front gate, and security are going to get their workers from? Maybe. I just don't, if you want to affect affordable housing, I mean, seriously, if you want to make a dent into affordable housing, how about you sell the land at market rate and take that money and go build $500 million worth of affordable housing instead of selling it, 30 cents on the dollar to a billionaire. I'm no urban planner, but the smart ones, that's what they tell me you could do and make a much bigger impact.
JP, let me ask you this. What's your, in the area, Tampa, St. Pete, the whole Tampa Bay area there, what's the mass transit situation? You guys have buses or light rail stations that go to the stadium?
No, it's just buses that nobody uses. There's a trolley. There's a free trolley, like one of them that runs around downtown Central Avenue. If you can maybe catch that, it'll drive you down there. Yeah.
But my point is, My point is, when you go build affordable housing, if people typically need to live in affordable housing, sometimes they can't afford cars and they need to take mass transit.
Yeah.
They need to ride buses. So you build your affordable housing in areas where your mass transit already exists, where the infrastructure is there, so that they can utilize that, and you get more revenue from that, by the way.
Yeah.
For the city and who operates it. So, yeah. So does that mean they're going to start running buses out to the stadium for everybody?
Well,
all the way up there?
I don't think I was just at the Battery in Atlanta. I didn't see any affordable housing around the stadium. Like, it makes no sense to build affordable housing around a stadium. Like, no, that's not what that land should be used for. But it looks good politically. Oh, affordable housing is part of. None of the people that really need the affordable housing are going to be able to afford this affordable housing. That I can tell you. No way. There ain't going to be any $1,200 rents for those two and 3 bedroom apartments. I can guarantee you that.
Right.
So if you wanted to actually make a dent in affordable housing, you could have done it in a much more profitable way. It's just this whole deal is so incredibly one-sided. And again, that's about politics and money. Like, it's not my money. I just don't think it's fair to. But the point is, the deal that the Rays put up in this that they wanted is not going to help the community, in my opinion. And the opinion of many, many people who are much smarter than me. Go to nohomerun.com and read those articles from people who have done these deals at the pier and have worked within city governments and seen these deals and done these huge development deals. We've talked to them. We brought them on the show, and former mayors who say this deal is repugnant to the city. Repugnant is the word they use. And the worst deal they've ever seen. I mean, it is the biggest public subsidy in the history of our sports stadiums, from quite possibly the smallest city that has built a major sports stadium. Chew on that for a second. In an era where there's no appetite for spending money and giving these billionaires public money, the smallest city just put out the biggest public subsidy. I was wrong. I didn't see that coming. Thought we might have some more responsible politicians, but no, never underestimate them. Never underestimate them. When they want to make sure that their name is on that stadium, boy, you're gonna use your dollars like you ain't never seen before. They want to make sure that plaque has their name on it. All those commissioners. Well, be careful what you wish for, because every one of those commissioners in Miami that voted for never won another election. So we'll see how it works out for you guys. But again, I wish you the best. The John Hill says he wants to see that chart again. Is that the one where the Rays spend the least percentage?
Yeah, we don't have it anymore.
Yeah, we ditched that, but I can go to my Twitter. You'll see it there. My show Twitter, by the way. Lonnie says what sucks is MLB no longer puts ticket sales at the gate at the forefront with ad revenue, and wait until revenue sharing gets designed and teams like the Rays get exposed. Well, it's interesting that everything is through the MLB app these days. So everything's going to be surcharged. You can't walk up and pay for a ticket, which just boggles my mind. Like, why can't you just walk up to the ticket booth and say, here's $10. Can I get a ticket? Oh, go to the app. Crazy.
That's crazy.
Monty says, I love St. Pete, but Tampa proper is where it needs to be. St. Pete is fine, building a Central Park area for dogs and citizens and all the snowbirds and fish that surround that plot of land. There's just so many things that you could have done that would have, I think, benefited the community better. Baseball just does not bring in economic impact to commensurate to the money that you're spending. You got to get some payback from, the Rays get the naming rights, which is going to pay for probably half their part of the stadium. They get they get all the development rights where they're going to, they're not only getting the money the land at a discount, but when those, condos go up and they cost $3, $4, $5 million, the profit in those developments, it's Rays Hines. So Stu's going to make profit off of all of those homes, where the city could have made the profit off of this, but they gave it to him. His take in the end, Lord knows what it's going to be when you look at the prices of homes in the condo towers. Which is great. He's going to make tons of money. But again, not good for baseball, not good for the community. Who's winning here? Stu, and then the ownership groups there. Which I'm happy from. Thanks for the shirt, Stu. By the way, I'm wearing. Did I mention that I'm wearing my Rays shirt when I went to Havana when I was working for the other station before he had me fired, allegedly. They sent me down there and they gave me this sweet shirt, so I wanted to get some wear out of this shirt. Look at that brilliant, wonderful logo, that Starburst.
It's pretty awesome.
But thanks for the shirt. I appreciate that. Oh, if he's watching, that's really going to grade him. Did I pay for that? Who gave him that shirt?
Somebody go get that shirt off his back.
Somebody just got fired. Lonnie says, flying home tonight, so we'll listen to this. Can't miss the show later tonight. Thanks for what you do. Hulkamania running wild. Yes. We're going to show you that. Hulk was at the RNC last night. He says, Hogan goes to my family's church in Indian Rock Speaks, and he's a great man, despite what the media says. Shocker, right? Right? Pinellas County still have the approved their portion. Yes, Mark, they do. They still have to do it. It's not a done deal yet. Shovels are not in the ground yet. Thomas Casper says this is the second time they will build a stadium for a different reason than baseball. Yeah, that's a great point. It's a great point. The most obvious points are completely overlooked in this. And that's what's crazy. Bananas. Nathan says, JP, don't take my affordable housing comment serious, but most of the game day workers are people who are day labor workers who do not want to have regular jobs. Yeah, these are not jobs that are meant to support families. They're part-time jobs. And they're not and that's what baseball brings. It's ticket takers, part-time job, which is fine. You need those jobs. They're great for especially fixed income people, the senior citizens. They're fantastic for that. But, they're not to say that it's a huge economic impact in terms of jobs brought. You couldn't have built something with less impact, honestly. Ever affordable housing unit is unequivocally defined as market rate. Thomas is a real estate guy, so he knows what this is. So basically, market rate. What is market rate? It ain't affordable. That's for damn sure. The Rays parking would cost more than a ticket to the game, and Stu will be long gone sitting at a Mets game in New York. That's right. They built, I think they're building 14,000 parking spaces, which is a lot. So a huge parking garages. Good luck getting in and out of those parking garages at the end of the game.
Man.
Oof. And paying for it as well. Yeah, the free parking days are over, I can tell you that. Hold on. Michael LaRue says affordable housing is not a guarantee. They will still need additional government subsidies or funding. Yeah, it's not guaranteed in the deal. It's talked about all the time, but it's not guaranteed. And let me just tell you that if you think they're going to build that affordable housing that's not guaranteed, you're probably that same dude that thinks Stu's going to start spending $300 million on payroll now that he has a new stadium. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. But you know what? Most of these politicians will be long gone by then too. Rick, MLB and Stu collects your information on the app and sells it. Bend over, St. Pete. Here comes prison love for the next 20 years. That's right. That's why one of the reasons they make you use the app so they can market. They can take the information and market it. MLB unfortunately has been taken away from the fans. It's all about corporations now. Oh, so true. So true. Well, and that goes for a lot of sports, right? I mean, the charm of baseball, honestly, Tim, and you're old enough to know this, it used to be, especially for you, and where I didn't grow up in an area where we had a major league team, but back in the 70s and 80s, maybe even a little bit in the 90s, you could walk up, on the day of a game, and pay, $6, $7 for a ticket, go sit in the outfield bleachers, grab a $3 beer, and that was the day, right? It was, it's just not that way anymore. I mean, they want to make every trip to a baseball game like a trip to a football game. And there's only, 8 to 10 of those home games a year as opposed to 81.
Yeah. Can't do that.
No, it can't. It's just not economically feasible. Michael says the whole development project of the property surrounding the stadium isn't scheduled for completion until 2055. Yeah. Yeah. The whole deal, the more you drill down on it, is just, it's so onerous. But again, it ain't my money. We got the deal done. We're going to have a new stadium. I guess some people are happy. But Stu's really happy.
Yeah. He's ecstatic this morning, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, the same guy waiting for affordable housing is wearing his Aaron Judge Rays jersey. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Rick,
Job,
you're the
Rick.
best. You're the best. All right, here's before we take a break. Here's you know what? Let's hit a break. We'll come back and I'll do the Stu Sternberg sound. Some interesting stuff in there. Very, very muted. Very muted. Almost like somebody who just knew he just dropped the Brinks truck, backed it up, took it out, and was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks. See you later. Back in 3. Stay with us. Get ready to dazzle this summer with the largest jewelry collection at the Gold and Diamond Source. Feel the heat of July with the fiery brilliance of ruby. That's July's birthstone, ruby. Well, that's my birthstone. I'll take one. It's perfect for adding a touch of luxury to your summer style. Embrace the unique beauty and significance of July's gemstone for any occasion, from beach parties to evening soirees, and mark a special 15th anniversary with a stunning ruby, the traditional gem of this very important milestone. And take advantage of our exclusive offer, 5 years of interest-free financing. That means you can own a $5,000 ring or watch or anything and pay only $83 a month with zero interest. And when you shop online, you can enjoy a special summer discount of 15% off July's birthstone. Make this summer unforgettable by visiting the Golden Diamond Source and finding the perfect piece to shine in the sun. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. As we head into summer and hurricane season, you must make sure that your home is fully insured. Over 40% of people in Florida are not fully insured because property rates have gone up lately. Your home is worth more, so it needs to be insured. Call the great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799 to make sure you're fully insured. And also, you might just save some money. There are new companies coming into the state all the time. In fact, we just shopped our homeowners insurance, and I'm telling you, folks, we saved over $550 because Charity, the great customer service at Italiano Insurance, did all the work and found us a better company and a cheaper company. She'll do the same for you. 813-877-7799. Do something about these high rates. Shop them around. Could save you lots of money. It's Italiano Insurance. Been doing business here locally for over 60 years. 813-877-7799. Tell them JP sent you.
Hey, Tampa Bay sports fans. This is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for TryHydrateHeroes.com. That's our new website where you can get a free 3-pack of the great Hydrate Heroes electrolyte hydration drink, all for free. Just go to TryHydrateHeroes.com. We'll send you a 3-pack. While you're there, go ahead and buy the 30-pack for just $29.99. Special going on, less than $1 a serving. For all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. Folks, a lot of these hydration drinks have tons of sugar, tons of calories. Hydrate Heroes, just 5 calories, and they have all the electrolytes in there, plus other stuff that's going to benefit you. A mushroom blend that will help with inflammation. So much other good stuff in there. None of the bad stuff. It's Hydrate Heroes. Go to TryHydrateHeroes.com and get your free 3-pack. The new Tropical Punch flavor is out, and it is fantastic. They'll send you some. Just go to tryhydrateheroes.com, get all the information there, pick up a 30-pack as well. Tryhydrateheroes.com. All the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawgroup.com. Scott Jeeves, good friend of the program. We were chatting about the FSU conference chaos situation, which we will get to later on in the show. DJ Pittenger is going to join us, big-time FSU podcaster, very popular. So we'll chat with him about it today. But Scott could be part of the mediation process. He's on that list. He knows the deal. One of the highly respected attorneys in this state. And if you have any legal issues whatsoever, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawgroup.com. All right, it is a momentous day. And even after all that diatribe, Tim, I mean, it will be nice to have a new stadium. I will say that. I will visit it when I can. If there's new ownership, I will gladly pay my money and go over there and enjoy a few beers and check it out. And I hope it's wildly successful. I really do. I want the Rays to succeed. I think they've kind of stacked the odds against them, but we'll see. Hope it all works out.
You'll get that initial surge like every new stadium does, right? Just the curious and hey, well, I want to go see the new stadium, say I've been there and to see it and celebrate it and whatever, for the first half of the first season in the stadium, right? But then things will taper off and it'll
still be the same drive, still be
Right.
the same lack of light rail. Ooh, some of that money could have gone to that. And it would still be, the same old issues. And the biggest problem is those corporations, the big money people that buy the luxury suites and the premium seating, it's always been the problem. They can't give the tickets away during the week because nobody's going over there. And when you can't when you're paying $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a game for tickets in a luxury box, and you can't even give them away to your clients, you're not going to do it anymore. That's kind of the way it works. And that's why it's why the Braves stadium has been wildly successful, because it's right in the area. It's not downtown, but it's in a huge corporate area, which is northwest of the city, and the whole northern part of it, the northern perimeter, Buckhead, all that. That's where their fans are, is where tons of businesses are housed. And it works, and you get all that money. And the Rays will probably not enjoy that in the long term. Yeah. And that's the big thing about in terms of turning that revenue into, again, the Braves went from having $120 million payrolls to having $260 million payrolls, because the way they structured the deal, they made a good chunk of that money, but they put it back into the team, and they've proven that. And they were spending money before. So, did anybody ask Stu about that? Is the payroll going up with all this new revenue? Well, let's find out.
It feels like an in the moment. I really don't have a 20-year lead up to this right now. As I've said all along, we've had other tries at things, and we've thought about things even when we weren't trying to get a stadium done. And it's really on to the next one, on to the next one. As I said, we've dusted ourselves off. We get to the next opportunity in front of us. And whatever's happened in the past was the past. It's helped inform this. But, I know the process of what we did was right here. We put everything out there, as we so say, left it out on the field. And what was going to happen was going to happen. And I have no regrets to where we are, and I'm thrilled the way we are right now.
You mentioned both yesterday and today that your opinion, but your thoughts about having a stadium in the same spot had evolved. What was it exactly that has made you come to this conclusion?
Money.
I'm a student of a bit, as many people are. You go visit other cities, not as to take a ballpark there, but I had a specifically, I had 2 children who went to school in Nashville. And one of them we looked at in 2006 and 7. I saw the city there, and I saw what it was by 2010 and 2014. And I've been to Austin. Matt Silverman got married in Austin, and I was there previous to that. And I saw what happened in Austin. I've seen what happened in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. These things can happen. There needs to be a spark. There needs to be a catalyst. And it was clear to me 3, 4, 5 years ago that St. Pete had, as I call it, crossed over the Rubicon and is nothing but blue skies right now. And I felt that our commitment here and investment here, along with Hines and the ballpark and everything else, would really help move that forward, and we would have an amazing city to live in, play in, work in, and all those good things.
I mean, Nashville and Austin.
Did he just mention 2 cities that don't have Major League Baseball teams?
Yeah.
What the hell?
And Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn? Huh. Okay.
What is the point of that? I'm trying to figure. So I guess he's saying that those cities exploded, and those cities grew rapidly. Well, Nashville grew. Nashville's growth is, for me, what was the catalyst? Country music.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I mean, what made Broadway explode? What made Nashville? Well, I think what really made Nashville explode, number one, would probably be the Predators coming to downtown Nashville. They had the Titans, and then the Titans moved there.
Yeah.
Right. And then I think that kind of followed. So maybe that's what he's saying in terms of what the catalyst is. But to me, that doesn't work. St. Pete it's already exploded because it's a Sunbelt city. It's beautiful Florida, no low taxes, all that stuff. It's the reason Tampa grew. I mean, I don't know. I missed that one, but I think maybe that's the point. And what about Austin? Did they build something?
No, there's nothing in Austin
except UT, right?
Which has been there for 150 years.
Don't they have a MLS team or something? Maybe is that what he's on?
Well, the stadium ain't downtown. Austin doesn't have a soccer down. Man, I don't know. They got a AAA baseball team, but it's 100 miles north of town.
And here's the other part of that point is those things those places have grown exponentially. Pinellas County, downtown St. Pete can't grow. It's surrounded by water.
Every time it doesn't work in other spots, you've always put your head down and gone back to work on new. Was there ever times that you thought this just isn't going to happen here?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I mean, during the negotiations with the city, we were going back and forth on things, and they could have become untenable. But it was a lot of hard work, specifically with Brian and Matt and Melanie and the mayor's staff and Mr. Gertis, who was just incredible working on this. People cared and they wanted it to happen, and it was clear to us when we spoke to the mayor early on, I guess in 2022, that he wanted this to happen, and we would roll up. And I gave him my commitment. We would roll up our sleeves and see if it was possible.
Yeah. Stu, this is expected to be the the toughest vote on this deal. The county's going to pass it because of the bed tax deal. You said you've been on a 20-year quest to get this stadium. Has it sunk in yet? You're going to get this deal. What are your thoughts?
I'm not taking the county vote for. So we'll. I'm going to hold that in judgment for now. Maybe I'll feel different after the vote whenever that takes place. But this is certainly another huge hurdle for us.
Thank you.
Major League Baseball happy?
John says, "Is Major League Baseball happy?" Yeah. Yeah. I don't think Major League Baseball could be happy. They always wanted it in Tampa. And maybe they just got so disgusted with the whole process. They just said, let's take what we can get and move on to expansion, which is, I think, where they are. And listen, it's a huge gamble for St. Petersburg, and hopefully it will work. And it will. I just don't think it's going to be great for baseball. It's not great for the fans. Anything strike you from that interview? I'm trying not to be too. I don't want to be too disrespectful to Mr.
You know what? You know what I hear? What I hear when I hear that interview and I listen to that interview? I hear a politician.
Yeah,
he's playing politics right now. He's saying the things that he thinks everybody wants to hear. He's appeasing the masses, and he's looking out for himself. That's exactly what I hear. I mean, the points he tried to make are gibberish. There were no points.
Yeah, that's what I got from it. That's what I got from it. It just I think it almost sounds to me like it looks to me like he got it. We got it done.
Yeah,
we got it done. Like,
yeah, it's insane.
Well, like I said, good for them. Hopefully the Rays. This is a humongous success, and the fans will come in droves, and they'll spend the money on the team, and it'll be successful for generations to come. It was never the original thought. It doesn't make any demographic sense whatsoever. But yes, the Rays have the Lightning and the Bucks and the airport and everything else. There's a reason for that, because that's where most of the people are. And some places aren't meant to have major league stadiums. And the peninsula of St. Petersburg is definitely one of them. And that's been proven for 30 years. But things do change. And I hope it all works the way they hope it will work. I think it's going to be a lot of money for developers, a lot of money for Stu Sternberg. He'll sell the team, and we'll go from there. But we'll see.
We'll see.
He
is, if nothing else, he has laid his legacy for the Tampa St. Pete area for years to come, regardless of what happens to him.
Michael LaRue says there's no guarantee if the team is sold that all of the surrounding real estate stays attached to the Rays organization. That is true. The Rays and Hines can sell that anytime they want to anyone they want to do whatever they want. Now, obviously, they'll have to do zoning and whatnot, but yeah, that is part of it. But the new 275 express lanes will make it so easy to get there from Tampa. Unfortunately, it funnels into the same size roads when it gets to St. Petersburg to get down to the bottom of the peninsula. You get over the bridge faster, but maybe. Stu will be whining. You'll always be whining. Well, he shouldn't be. Good God.
What's he got to complain about?
He's got everything he needs, right? Absolutely. All right, so you guys want to comment on that? Jump on in, and we'll chat more about it if you like. We're gonna hit the FSU conference stuff with JT Pittenger coming up at 11 o'clock. So we'll do a little bit on that. By the way, the Rays start a series with the Yankees tonight in the Bronx at New Yankee Stadium. I guess we still call it a New Yankee Stadium. So they're right back in the fire at 48-48. Here we go, second half of the season. It's been a lot of meh the whole first half of the season. Hopefully the offense comes to life. Pitching's been fantastic, but this is a huge series for them. I saw something last night on Twitter about the Rays are open for business for all of their players. I guess now that the vote's over, we can do that. Which is good. And from a baseball standpoint, I hope they get a lot for Randy Arozarena, Yandy Diaz, Zach Eflin. But I think this is a point where they need to be dealing and getting some good prospects and restocking that system, or maybe let's get some major league prospects for some of those guys. Some guys that are right on the cusp of, some good power hitters, some good athletes that can also be plus defensively, kind of like, where the Rays used to be. More pitching and defense and find enough hitters to make it work. That's kind of been their formula. So I would hopefully like to see them make some deals in the upcoming days. You think anything's happening?
I don't think anything's happening. I don't see it. I don't see it.
All right. I've been watching the British Open here, my friend. Shane Lowry has the lead. It's 7 under par. Yeah. By the way, Tiger, last I saw was 12 over par.
Well, he finished yesterday at 8 over.
Yeah.
And, it's funny. Johnny and I had the discussion on Wednesdays from the rough right here on FanStream Sports. Mondays and Wednesdays, 5 to 6 Central Time.
Great show.
I posed the question, is it time for Tiger to hang it up until he turns 50 and then just go dominate the Champions Tour? And I think this is a little bit of and Johnny thought he was going to do well. Johnny and I had a little side wager. Johnny thought he was going to make the cut. I said, there's no way he makes the cut here. And I still think he would dominate the Champions Tour, right? When he turns 50, I think he could. And
you think he's going to play it?
Well, I don't think his intention was to go play it, but I don't think he intended to be irrelevant this soon on the other tour. And I think it's an ego thing, and I think he needs to get his name back out there in the winning, in the winner's circle. And when he turns 50, he can go win a few majors, a few of the seniors majors, and get his name back out there.
Can he though?
I think so. I do.
I don't. I don't think he will dominate the Champions Tour.
You think his game's just that far gone?
He can't practice.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
He doesn't have the ability to practice for long stints like that. Right. That's what used to make him great. I mean, he was always so dialed in because he was constantly working on his game every day, 8, 10, 12 hours a day. He was working on his game, even when he was at the height of his game. And that's why he was so great. He's the most talented golfer, but maybe the hardest working golfer and most prepared golfer from a physical standpoint we've ever seen. That's why he's the greatest to ever do it. And he doesn't have the physical wherewithal to do that anymore. His body won't allow it. So, and where does that show? That shows in the putting. It shows in, the touch on the putting, the short game, those nuanced wedges that you just got to dial. That these guys are out there on the range for 8 hours a day, dial them into the half yard. And Tiger just doesn't have the physical wherewithal to do it. Same thing with these Champions Tour players. Now, these guys hit 50, they're still hitting the ball 300. So, you don't have to be long out there. So his length is not going to help him. It's probably going to hurt him in some ways because the distances that they play, I think it's going to be tough for Tiger. Shorter. It's a birdie fest. Shorter. It's a birdie fest. You got to make tons of birdies, hit it close, knock into putts. So I don't think he'll dominate. Will he win? Sure, he can win. Right. Here's the other thing. Jack never embraced the Champions Tour, right? He never did. And I think for Tiger, will he look at the Champions Tour as something below him? I hope not. I think he's more focused on building the game in other ways, bringing the PGA Tour back together. I think those are things that are very important to him. He's focused on Charlie. As soon as he gets out of here, he's flying, to see Charlie play in the amateur. Yeah. So he's got a lot of other things that I don't think. So my point is, I don't think he's going to dominate the Champions Tour. I'm not even sure he's going to really embrace it, but we'll see.
I'd like to see him try.
What? Yeah, sure. I want to see Tiger Woods play golf all day long if I can. You saw the back and forth with Monty, right?
Yeah.
So Monty came out, and I'll hand it to Monty. Monty says things that a lot of people are thinking, but out of respect to Tiger Woods would never say publicly. Yeah. He just goes ahead and blurts them out because that's what Monty does. And he said basically Tiger should really think, about hanging it up and not playing out here because he basically said it's like embarrassing, right? He's embarrassing himself. Mm-hmm. Paraphrasing. And then Tiger had the zinger right back at him and said, well, at least I get to make that choice as a former champion. I can play till I'm 60. Monty doesn't get to make that choice because he never won it. Turn it. Pour the salt on it.
That's pretty funny.
Vinegar. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, touche, Tiger. Wow. So, but is there a little truth in what Monty's saying?
Yes.
I was watching it this morning, and I got to tell you, there were parts of me that said, I don't like seeing this, I don't know. I don't know if I like seeing it. It's just, he's really bad.
It's hard to watch him. It's hard to watch him struggle, and it's not fun. And it's not how he needs to go out. It's not, and it's disappointing, but it is what it is. Does he want to quit? No, he wants to be. He's a competitor. He wants to be out there. Yeah. But at some point, you just got to call it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And this was supposed to be the easiest spot for him to play. Very flat. Very much well suited to his game. But links golf is such a nuanced thing. Look at Shane Lowry, who won a couple of years ago at Royal Portrush. He came here 2 weeks ago and did a scouting trip with his caddy and his dad. Right. And he credits that to really feel, and it was windy that day. So he's gotten he knows how to play this thing in the wind, and he knows how to play links golf. It's a tremendous advantage. This is what they grew up doing. So I think Shane Lowry's in a pretty damn good spot right now, and he's at 7 under par. And there are not many players under par. Well, there was 11 at last check, I think, 11 or 12 players under par. So it's a brutal course. It's beaten up a lot of people. But, the thing about links golf, and even Shane Lowry knows this, one bad lie in that ridiculous rough, and, you can make double, triple bogey in a hurry on a 120-yard postage stamp hole. So it
happens
far
fast.
from over.
Yeah, it happens fast.
It's far from over, but I also, I think it's going to be very competitive over the weekend. And who do you? I did bet the whole card this week. By the way,
did you?
Yes, bet the whole card. So we got some good leaders up there, right? That are still in contention.
For any of those wondering, here's Johnny's card.
What was the other thing there? That was interesting. Who's that?
That's me and Amanda Balionis.
Oh, that's right. That is Amanda. Hello, Amanda. Hello.
We do this bit on our golf show, because it's all about golf, where I put myself in pictures with hot chicks and we show them on the screen. So there you go.
Very nice.
But there's Johnny's card for everybody that was wondering.
Yeah.
And then
so
my card, because that was what I bet. How about that top 20 pick for me?
You're just throwing away money, aren't you?
Dude, I always have to bet John Daly when he plays, man. I absolutely have to, 100%.
What is he, 200,000 to 1?
He's plus 20,000, so for a top 20.
That'd pay off handsomely.
He shot 11 over yesterday. So
where are your guys in the leaderboard chase here?
I think they're on the back page.
On the back page? Okay.
Right. I haven't even looked yet.
Yeah, we'll start dialing in tomorrow morning in the early morning, the third round as we get closer. All right, some other comments coming in before we hit the break. Michael LaRue says, Stu also declined to comment about possible stadium naming rights deals and how much that might be worth. Well, we know what they're worth. We see it all around baseball.
That's not
probably for the life of the stadium, $300 to $400 million now. His portion is $700 million. So yeah, it'll cover that. And this goes to this. Donald Ward said, if Tampa really wanted the Rays, don't you think the city would have put together a better offer than St. Pete? No, I think what Tampa was offered was a public-private partnership that was responsible to the taxpayers. There was still $350 million, $400 million in there of public money, which I think is a much better expenditure. And also in areas where, it's not the hottest real estate market in the world. I mean, Ybor City, it's some good land, but it wasn't downtown land like the Water Street was, or what Tropicana Field is. And the fairgrounds, basically the land would be free for the most part. So those were options, and it just makes it different. And Tampa was going to, Stu wanted a blank check from Tampa, like he's getting from St. Petersburg. And the Tampa people were just, Ken Hagan said, no, we'll do it in a public-private way. You'll get more money in the long run. You'll make way more money in the long run because of the location and the demographics. But in the short run, up front, that's why Stu loved this deal. He gets almost all the money up front to build the stadium, gets the development rights right away, can do whatever he wants with the land, includes sell it to anyone. He could just turn it right away. So he got everything he wanted up front. And that's why suddenly St. Petersburg is the place to be when it never was before. And so this is a gamble by Mayor Welch that they're going to get everything that they think they're going to get. And I hope it works out for the city of St. Pete, because they're spending a hell of a lot of money on it. I really, really do. I hope they see some payoff. But I think that this deal is written to benefit only Stu.
Yeah.
We'll see how it comes into fruition. But Mike Stover says Trump, Hogan, McMahon, White, the new Avengers. We'll throw a little Hulkamania out there a little bit later in the second half. If you missed that last night, our own Hulk Hogan at the RNC last night. All right, let's
70-year-old Hulk Hogan.
70 years old, huh?
God Almighty.
Golly, yeah.
I'm still 28. How did he turn 70?
You're still clinging to that, are you?
I am.
All right. Coming up next, TJ Pittenger will join us. from the Double Fries No Slaw podcast. We love that. Big FSU podcaster has some insight into this FSU chaos that's going on. Stay with us. We'll do that when we come back.
You're listening to The Strike. 1025 WHPT HD2 Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, are you going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show? It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at rogersparkgolf.net. That's rogersparkgolf.net. See you there.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by those great folks at Rogers Park. Go check that out. They've had a great crowd out there this week, but you can get some reservations starting at $25 per bay, including balls. They get really beautifully appointed out there, brand new bays, up to 4 people. You can play all the different courses. You can play St. Andrews. I don't know if Royal Troon is on. I do think Royal Troon is on their simulated play. So you go out to the bays.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, and set up the Royal Troon, just like it plays there. I played Troon, 9 years ago. Incredible track. Postage stamp, knocked a little wedge off the side of the postage stamp there, kicked back onto the green. Missed the birdie putt, though.
Of course.
Got a par. But that par the postage stamps, which is a lot better than some of these knuckleheads are doing.
There you go.
It ain't easy. It's blowing out there. All right, let's bring in, I screwed up the tease. It's our man, Evan L. Bushman, from his very popular Rays podcast, joining us here. Look at that Tropicana field right behind you, bro. Look at here. Putting in the press box as we speak. Wow, that is amazing.
What's up,
technology? How are you, partner?
I'm good, man. How are you? Happy second day birthday or whatever. Because your birthday
thank
was
you.
so.
Happy second day after the vote birthday present. Thanks, Stu. Right
There
up
you
the lupus. But I'm happy for folks like you, like Rays fans, that would just wanted a new stadium to stop talking about it, to get it done. And I get all that. And I'm happy for that portion. And I'll be happy when the damn thing's built. So your thoughts today as the stadium saga is hopefully over.
Yeah, hopefully it's over. I think we have a couple more weeks until the actual final say so if it's actually going to come true. So we went through one hurdle and now we've got another hurdle to go through in a couple of weeks. So we'll see on the 30th if it's actually going to come to fruition and we can actually see shovels breaking ground and actually building a stadium. So we'll see.
You're still a little dubious.
I'm still a little optimistic about it because we've gone through this show and this saga of the past 15 years about getting a new stadium, either if it was just going to be in Tampa or staying in St. Petersburg. So until a shovel goes in the ground and stuff starts to get built on, I'm still kind of like, there still could be some cog in the wheel that's going to break everything up and make something say no, and then it doesn't get approved. So I'm optimistic about it. I think the biggest hurdle was yesterday going through that vote. I know there was a lot of detractors still about having that stadium being built and the location it's at and how much money is going to be spent. But it is what it is. It went through 5-3. I mean, it's a good sign. I think a lot of Rays fans are just, hey, we're happy something is possibly going to get done, and now we don't have to keep hearing about if the Rays are going to be moving or if they're going to be sharing a city with another continent or doing other weird things that the Rays have done. But yeah, it's a step in the right direction. I'm pretty happy about it because now we don't have to hear that broken record every single year about, hey, what are the Rays going to do about the stadium? Oh, hey, is the Trop going to still be there? Are the Rays going to break their lease? So yeah, it's finally over, so we don't have to hear that broken record. It's a step in the right direction, and if they stay by the renderings that we saw, it's going to be a beautiful stadium. It's gonna look nice. So hopefully it gets done.
What do you feel from the baseball side? Do you think this will fix their revenue issues? What are your thoughts on is it good for the Rays long term from a baseball standpoint?
I think hopefully it will be. And I hopped on a couple shows before yours, JP, in the past couple of days about if the stadium does get done. I think we're in a good spot with the newer generation of fans that are coming to the ballpark. I mean, I think now since we've had almost 2 generations of Rays fans coming to the Tropicana Field, we're getting more and more homegrown Rays fans coming there. So by the time the stadium gets built, hopefully we'll see the average seat size or seat capacity be like 20,000 a night on a weekday, or maybe 18 to 19,000 on a weekday. So I mean, obviously I think they recognize like, hey, we don't need a 40,000 seat stadium to fill the seats and make it look good. We can have that small market size be there to generate revenue. And of course, you're going to have that stadium all year round to be open to events and concerts and all kinds of cool things. So I think the revenue is going to be there. So I think hopefully it's going to generate enough to where, Stu's not going to be scared of a $99 million payroll when it comes to spending money and bringing in the top talent we need to hopefully, get across.
What gives you that impression? Why do you think he will change?
I don't. To be honest with you, JP, I'm still in that mode of, hey, he's gotten this done, but he may not be around when the stadium gets filled. He might sell off the team to somebody else, so we never know.
I think that would be a very positive, especially someone with really deep pockets that can afford to pay.
Well, also too, we talked about this, a day or two ago during that press conference when somebody asked him like, hey, are you going to be around when this happens? And he goes, you know what, you don't know what's going to happen, and how time is. We didn't expect to be, a 500 ball club this year. So
he evaded the question, is what you're saying.
He dodged the question a little bit. So that to me says, I think he may be listening to offers, as a lot of people on X or Twitter have been talking about.
He definitely is. I know that for a fact.
Yes, it's just like a lot of people on X or Twitter, and that hey, the Rays are listening about Yandy and Randy and B. Lau. It's like, yeah, everybody talks about them every single year about maybe getting traded, so we never know. But yeah, I think he's listening to offers now as we speak, to see what his future is like. And I think once the stadium gets built and everything is done and deal, he'll probably sell the team and make a lot of money and then move on. So.
Now, normally, Evan, when deals like this happen, the entire fan base is just elated. I mean, it's usually, in other cities, new stadium and out, blah, blah, blah. It brings, a lot of momentum. It brings the fan base together. what is your sense of where the fan base is at on social media? Are they split over this, or is it a kumbaya? Everybody's coming together. What's your sense?
Honestly, it's been a kumbaya from what I've seen on Twitter and Facebook. Everybody's really happy that it's done and it's over with, and hopefully it's going to actually come to fruition, and we're going to get a stadium actually being built. So I've seen a few little negative posts about, oh, it's about the money, and we're paying a lot of money for this, and maybe it should have been in Tampa. But look, we've got hopefully a shiny new baseball stadium coming for the Tampa Bay Rays, and yeah, I think overall overwhelmingly it's been positive throughout the fan base about, hey, the stadium is finally hopefully going to get built, and we're going to have a nice shiny new place for the Rays to play in for 30 odd years or so, or 50 years or 100 years or whatever. So however long
Who knows?
Who knows exactly. But yeah, I think overall consensus is it's been positive. I've seen so many comments about, hey, it's today's the day, it's going to get done, and when it was finally passed, everybody was cheering online. So yeah, it's overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah, it's funny. I've always been obviously pro stadium to get something new done on the Tampa side. And I do feel somewhat of a sense of relief, even though I was completely wrong. I always thought it would be on the Tampa side. I never thought that the smallest city in the world would give up the biggest subsidy in the history of stadiums, but who knew? These things happen. You find a mayor that's willing to do it, you go ahead and do it, right? But I don't think it's great long term, just in terms of what revenue is going to be coming into the stadium and going into the team. It's always going to be that way in what could have been. But I hope the fans coalesce behind it. I really do. I mean, I hope it works. I hope everything works out the way they hope it will, and we can, finally see a World Series in this town.
Yeah, I do too as well. I was kind of like you, JP. I thought the better location would have been in Tampa. I mean, you had the more metropolitan area, larger a size of population in the Tampa area, but to keep it the same was kind of just like, well, aren't we spinning the same wheels in the same city that you've been trying to get more fans to come? But hey, I'm not an executive. I'm not on the Rays. Right. I don't know what I'm talking about. So we'll see what happens. But I do think, with how St. Pete is relatively keeps growing and expanding out to, younger families and young professionals, I do see maybe by the time the stadium does get built, you'll see a larger population go to the Rays games. And I think we've seen that we've seen this last year and this year where, the attendance has gone up a little bit, and we've seen the average attendance be, really more than what we've seen in the past, 5-6 years. And I think that's a trend in the right direction, where you see the actual attendance go up year to year. And I think, as the years keep going up, even though we're at 500 right now, and we don't know where this team's going to be in the next couple of weeks when it comes to the trade deadline, and if they're going to make a move or maybe just kind of wave the white flag and look ahead to 2025, I still think people are going to come to the games because they're still making it a place to go to when it comes to go see Rays games. I mean, they've got the concert series going on. They've got it a place where, kids can run around and do things, and the food's accessible. Obviously, the beer prices need to go down, but that's enough. But, I think it's still a place to go to watch baseball. And I think as the years keep going, and like I said before, the younger generations keep going to the games, you're going to see that attendance keep creeping and creeping and creeping up, which is hopefully a positive sign.
All right, Evan, from a baseball standpoint, how do you think this team reacts in the second half? Obviously, Yandy and Randy are starting to hit again. The pitching has been much better the last month, but can they sustain it? They also have, I think, the hardest schedule in the second half for the remaining games in baseball. So I don't think this team is a playoff team. What are your thoughts?
I'm kind of there with you, kind of not with you. And I think the next stretch of games against the series against the Yankees and then the series against Toronto is really going to tell what the Rays are going to do at the deadline coming up. Now, if they do well the next couple of series where they're above 500 and they've caught some ground, with Houston and also Kansas City, in the wild card spot, then I definitely see them being more of a buyer heavy than in the trade deadline than you're going to see, maybe a couple of weeks ago when we're probably going to be sellers. I do think they're going to be more of a combination of buyers and sellers, but it's not going to be like we're going to see some huge blockbuster trade or anything like that. They're going to make the moves that they need to do to bring in a couple of pieces. Hey, we need some bullpen help, definitely, and we need some offensive help. So if they're in the thick of it after these two series, then you're probably going to see them be more buyers than on the sellers market. Now, obviously, if it turns the other way and they're underneath 500, and it doesn't look like there's any signs of getting back in the wild card race, then you're going to see them sell off some pieces. And we don't know. And obviously, the big names out there are going to be big names like Yandy and Randy, and Isak is another name that's been floating around where teams are calling in on them. The Rays don't really have to do anything. The Rays don't have to make, they don't have to trade those guys away. Now, they can look at 2025 and say, hey, look, we've got probably one of the best rotations on paper coming back for 2025, where we could have a six-man rotation with the guys coming back. Now, they may move a guy like Eflin because he's going to make a lot of money next year, and you've got Zach McClanahan, you got Shane McClanahan coming back, Jeffrey Springs coming back, Drew Rasmussen coming back. So, you can make those couple of moves, but if you really want to be a contender next year, do you really want to trade Yandy or Randy away? You don't really have to.
And you got those great pitching arms that are coming back. You got McClanahan coming back, Rasmussen, and Baz is developing, and obviously Taj Bradley's been fantastic.
He's been great. So I mean, if they're looking at 2025 as okay, we're not going to make the playoffs this year. We're going to look towards 2025. Let's make some moves to make us look like even more of a contender next year by maybe trading a couple of guys that maybe we don't need because they're making more money than they should for next year. So I do think it's after this couple of series, you're going to see what they're going to do. But obviously, they don't have to make those trades. They'll listen, but do they really need to make those trades? I mean, they've got to make an offer you can't refuse when it comes to trading away one of those types of players. Yeah. So I think the Rays are smart when it comes to trades, and we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. This is actually my most favorite time of the baseball season is trade deadline, because then it really gets kind of crazy and exciting, because then you see players going to contenders and players going to non-contenders. So it's a fun time to see all the rumors come out.
Yeah. I think Randy is a definite. I think he's going to go. I think he may hold on to Yandy. And Paredes is – I know Caminero is probably – his spot is at third base. So, if they do knock your socks off for Paredes, I'd take it.
If you find a team that can maybe trade us a catcher that's ready to go.
Oh, my God. A catcher.
Maybe some bullpen help, then, pull the trigger on it. But it's got to be the right move to trade away a guy like Isak, who I think is under team control for the next couple of years.
Yeah. No, and they'd get somebody back that is too as well. Yeah. But just, get and maybe in some positions where they can be better defensively and offensively. I'd like to see that. And I just think this team, I think it needs a shakeup, kind of a major shakeup of leadership. I'd like to see them bring in some experienced players that can reset the culture here. Don't you think this has been like the most unraised team you've seen on the last, and it's certainly in the Kevin Cash era, the lack of focus, the details, lollygagging, just things the Rays have always bet themselves on playing really, really clean baseball and doing the details and the little things. And it seems like they're one of the worst at it in the league. Yeah.
I can agree with you on that. I think that one of the things that we talked about on the Rays Rewind podcast, which you can find us on YouTube at the Sick Podcast Rays Rewind, is this team hasn't really found an identity of what type of team it is. And that's what's been kind of frustrating the first half of the year is, okay, what is this team doing? Like, what is this team's identity? Are we, an offensive heavy team, which we are not because of the run differential? Are we good at defense? We haven't really been good at defense. Has the pitching been well? Not really. Bullpen's been really kind of shaky the past few months. The starting pitching's been okay, but other than that, there really hasn't been a total team identity of who we are. And I think that's one of the things that's been frustrating a lot of Rays fans is, if we're going into the second half and make a run for this, maybe for a wild card spot, we got to get it together. We got to find out what this Rays team is. And I agree with you. It's been frustrating because of just the lack of a consistency when this team, especially with the defense and the pitching, and also the offense has just been god awful. So it's been kind of like, okay, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Right. And sometimes too the manager decisions too. With Kevin Cash has made some questionable calls, especially for matchups and pitching changes too. So it's been like, okay, what is if it's a team that has the yips this year, I think that the Rays have the yips when it comes to finding out who they are. So
sometimes things flow and sometimes they don't. It's like every decision you make turns out to be good. Kevin Cash had a long run of that, and it's like it seems like it's regressing to the mean here this year. And guys not running balls out, which makes me crazy. It's just stuff we haven't done in the past under Kevin Cash, and it's been way too prevalent this year. Yep. All right, partner, tell everybody again where they can get your podcast.
Sure, you can find us on YouTube at the Sick Podcast, Raise Rewind. We're on the Sick Media Network, and then you can follow me at Twitter right there at the El Bushman.
Bushman. All right, partner. Congratulations. Can't wait to see you in the stadium. All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, we'll head to another break here and say a big thank you to Gold and Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub over there. It's their 40th anniversary. Congratulations on such a great business and doing so many great things in the community. Truly community treasures that have really poured back into the community for so very long. So if you're looking for anything in the jewelry or looking for a new watch or something, head on over to the Gold and Diamond Source and 3800 Omerta Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. It's July is Ruby birthstone. So get great deals on the Ruby. I don't own a single Ruby. I should have a Ruby. It's my birthstone.
It's your birthstone. You should.
15% off all online Ruby orders. Check it out at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Back in 3. JP here for HydrateHeroes.com, the great electrolyte hydration drink that has all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. NFL players are using this stuff. All types of athletes are using it because it's got 5 calories. None of the bad stuff, all the good stuff. All the electrolytes are in there for you. And also amla fruit, which is a terrific additive in there. The mushroom blend helps with inflammation in your body. Definitely has helped me with my knees. My knee pain has gone away almost exclusively since I started drinking Hydrate Heroes. Folks, it makes a difference. I love it. Professional athletes love it. You will love it. The new Tropical Punch flavor is out. Go to tryhydrateheroes.com and get a free 3-pack. That's tryhydrateheroes.com, a free 3-pack, and get the 30-pack while you're there for just $29.99. Tryhydrateheroes.com. You'll love it.
Hey, Tampa Bay sports fans. This is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Gettys Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Gettys Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Get ready to dazzle this summer with the largest jewelry collection at the Gold and Diamond Source. Feel the heat of July with the fiery brilliance of Ruby. That's July's birthstone, Ruby. Well, that's my birthstone. I'll take one. It's perfect for adding a touch of luxury to your summer style. Embrace the unique beauty and significance of July's gemstone for any occasion, from beach parties to evening soirees, and mark a special 15th anniversary with a stunning ruby, the traditional gem of this very important milestone. And take advantage of our exclusive offer, 5 years of interest-free financing. That means you can own a $5,000 ring or watch or anything and pay only $83 a month with zero interest. And when you shop online, you can enjoy a special summer discount of 15% off July's birthstone. Make this summer unforgettable by visiting the Golden Diamond Source and finding the perfect piece to shine in the sun. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Omerta Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. As we head into summer and hurricane season, you must make sure that your home is fully insured. Over 40% of people in Florida are not fully insured because property rates have gone up lately. Your home is worth more, so it needs to be insured. Call the great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799 to make sure you're fully insured. And also, you might just save some money. There are new companies coming into the state all the time. In fact, we just shopped our homeowners insurance, and I'm telling you, folks, we saved over $550 because Charity, the great customer service at Italiano Insurance, did all the work and found us a better company and a cheaper company. She'll do the same for you. 813-877-7799. Do something about these high rates. Shop them around. Could save you lots of money. It's Italiano Insurance, been doing business here locally for over 60 years. 813-877-7799. Tell them JP sent you. Are you looking for an honest AC and plumbing company? I mean, that's like trying to find a humble Saints fan, right? Well, try my friends at Third Generation AC and Plumbing Services. Been in business since 1995 here locally. And listen to what one of their customers said. Quote, the gentleman providing the service was exceptional, on time, knowledgeable, professional, and experienced. He was efficient, cleaned up behind himself, and did the work expeditiously. He not only repaired a sink, he repaired our toilet that was constantly running. We have used this company several times. They are awesome. Says it all, folks. Testimonials really say it all. Call 813-961-8024 for honest, fast service. 813-961-8024 or thirdgenerationplumbing.com. We also do AC.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, well, welcome back. TJ Pittenger coming up. Double Fries, No Slaw podcast. We'll do a quick segment here, and we'll hit a break and get him on as well. So I was watching the RNC last night, my friend, and, Hulk Hogan, big Tampa Bay guy. Big Tampa Bay guy, one of the most beloved athletes in the world. So we said we'll cover the convention from a sporting aspect. And there were a couple of big names in sports that were there last night. Dana White introduced former President Trump, and that was very intense. I thought that was really, really well done. Felt like a UFC fight, bringing him out. The entire night was really, really cool for the most part.
Yeah.
The video they did of Trump, I don't know if it showed on major broadcast, but they did a whole, leading into his entrance. It all went all back to his, the television days and it's really very self-serving. It was, I thought it was I was like, what are you doing here? Like, move on from that stuff. It's just it plays into, everything that Trump's detractors hate about him. It was I thought it was very ego driven. And I know somebody, I don't know who in the campaign thought that was a good idea, because it's so much not about that. It's just not about that right now.
It was a little weird. Yeah.
Yeah. It really isn't about that. But the here and now, Trump, recounting the assassination attempt was pretty riveting.
That was cool. Yeah.
That was pretty riveting.
Yeah.
And
his firsthand take on, it was amazing.
But I think we can all agree that this was the biggest part of the night. This was the signature moment of last night's event, and courtesy of our 70-year-old.
But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero and they tried to kill the next president of the United States? Enough was enough, and I said, let Trumpamania run wild, brother. Let Trumpamania rule again. Let Trumpamania make America great again.
Are you getting chills like I am?
Yes. Those arms.
Yeah. 70 years old.
That was cool. That was really freaking cool. And the Kid Rock came out and crushed it. But I got to, I'm just being honest here. But Kid Rock's up there and he's just crushing it. He's, the whole Kid Rock thing. And they're doing these cutaways of all these old white people.
It was pretty funny.
Trying to keep the beat, the Kid.
I don't even know if I can keep the beat to Kid Rock anymore.
I don't either, but I wouldn't try.
No.
These old ladies are like, oh. These old dudes. It was like, if you don't like Trump, even if you like him, you're like, wow, that's just
yeah.
But I love Kid. It was his part was great, but the little juxtaposition was a little bizarre.
Now you know what? Now compare all the crap that went on at the RNC to, I don't know, what was the most exciting thing at the DNC? Like that Biden didn't fall down?
They haven't even had their convention yet.
No, not the DNC, but at his rally. At his rally.
Oh, his rally, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
ridiculous.
But it's what the hell's going to happen at the DNC? They're choosing a new candidate. Who's it going to be? I heard Michelle Obama is like at 3 cents in the betting market. They're gone from 3 cents to 7 cents in the betting market. Yeah. Kamala's the favorite, which is just like that's.
You know what? Bring it. I dare you.
I'm like, how are you serious? Like,
this is going to be a bigger landslide than Reagan over Mondale.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. They can print ballots.
That's
quickly.
true. They're
still going to have mail in and drop boxes. So, you can't secure an election like that. You just can't. But
dead people vote now, so you never know.
Yeah. As my friend was talking to this morning, said he got a ballot sent to him for 2020 for his brother who died in 2007.
Really?
And never lived at his house. And then that guy got sent a ballot in Florida. Yeah.
Wow. That tells you something right there.
And you check signatures. We'll see. No. James is not. He's not happy with me. Said it was a biography on Trump. Seemed okay, but we've seen that a million times. Like, there's more pertinent information going on right now if you're going to spend the time. Give me something. Kid Rock was great, but it was hilarious watching the oldies try to get. It was freaking funny. All right, quick break. When we come back, TJ Pitt, a very popular Florida State podcast, Double Fries, No Slaws, been dealing with all these FSU to the Big 12 rumors. We will deal with that when we come back. We're brought to you by the great folks at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Get your testosterone right, like Hulkamania. You want to have arms like that when you're 70? Go see my man, Chris Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. But he'll do it right, folks. He'll keep you in the right frame, not abusing testosterone. Not saying that Hulk is, not saying he would ever. Those are big arms, though. Those are really, really good. Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Get it right. Back in 3. Stay with us. As we head into summer and hurricane season, you must make sure that your home is fully insured. Over 40% of people in Florida are not fully insured because property rates have gone up lately. Your home is worth more, so it needs to be insured. Call the great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799 to make sure you're fully insured. And also, you might just save some money. There are new companies coming into the state all the time. In fact, we just shopped our homeowners insurance, and I'm telling you, folks, we saved over $550 because Charity, the great customer service at Italiano Insurance, did all the work and found us a better company and a cheaper company. She'll do the same for you. 813-877-7799. Do something about these high rates. Shop them around. Could save you lots of money. It's Italiano Insurance. Been doing business here locally for over 60 years. 813-877-7799. Tell them JP sent you. JP here for TryHydrateHeroes.com. That's our new website where you can get a free 3-pack of the great Hydrate Heroes electrolyte hydration drink, all for free. Just go to TryHydrateHeroes.com. We'll send you a 3-pack. While you're there, go ahead and buy the 30-pack for just $29.99. Special going on. Less than $1 a serving. For all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. Folks, a lot of these hydration drinks have tons of sugar, tons of calories. Hydrate Heroes, just 5 calories, and they have all the electrolytes in there, plus other stuff that's going to benefit you. A mushroom blend that will help with inflammation. So much other good stuff in there. None of the bad stuff. It's Hydrate Heroes. Go to TryHydrateHeroes.com and get your free 3-pack. The new Tropical Punch flavor is out, and it is fantastic. They'll send you some. Just go to TryHydrateHeroes.com. Get all the information there. Pick up a 30-pack as well. TryHydrateHeroes.com. All the good stuff, none of the bad stuff.
Hey, Tampa Bay sports fans. This is 2-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking looking for a few golf tips or golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Get ready to dazzle this summer with the largest jewelry collection at the Gold and Diamond Source. Feel the heat of July with the fiery brilliance of ruby. That's July's birthstone, ruby. Well, that's my birthstone. I'll take one. It's perfect for adding a touch of luxury to your summer style. Embrace the unique beauty and significance of July's gemstone for any occasion, from beach parties to evening soirees, and mark a special 15th anniversary with a stunning ruby, the traditional gem of this very important milestone. And take advantage of our exclusive offer, 5 years of interest-free financing. That means you can own a $5,000 ring or watch or anything and pay only $83 a month with zero interest. And when you shop online, you can enjoy a special summer discount of 15% off July's birthstone. Make this summer unforgettable by visiting the Golden Diamond Source and finding the perfect piece to shine in the sun. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Gettys Gordon Group and Extravaganza Productions. You have an event coming up, a charity event, a big birthday, some type of event where you want great audio, visual production. Extravaganza Productions will do it for you. They even help you in the creative process. Get a free creative meeting. You go to extravaganzaproductions.com, contact them, and tell them you heard it on the JP Show. All right, let's welcome in a friend of the show, TJ Pittenger from the Double Fries No Slaw, very popular Florida State podcast. What's up, TJ? How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Well, hopefully, I was perusing your Twitter and I saw that nice little picture of you guys on Snow White's mine train for the first
yeah,
time.
crazy morning.
Hopefully, you found an air-conditioned spot where you can do this and enjoy yourself.
Back to the car. Yeah, we kind of. I told them, I was like, it's going to be a quick trip, but we'll get there like right at open, so we can do like 3 things and get out. And they were like, "Yeah, that's fun." So,
nice.
Yeah, back in the AC in the expedition.
Oh, thank God for you. Well, it's been a little chaotic this past week for you and me, and everybody's telling you and Florida State fans that we're not good enough. We're a problem. We're a headache. Nobody wants us. We're not going to the Big Ten or the SEC. You're going to have to settle for the Big 12, and the fan base is absolutely freaking out. What has been your message to your Florida State faithful?
I've been, kind of being told that I was a problem or a disruptor. Like, you remember I used to have to like sit by myself in like 2nd grade. Like they'd make me go sit because I just talked to everyone. So this is nothing new for me. Like I'm, oh, you're a disruption. Like very good.
The same.
Honestly, though. And then those people go on the radio and talk for a living. So so here we are. But yeah, I don't know. So like the whole disruption thing is funny, to me. Talking about that part specifically, just because the Big Ten literally took USC and UCLA, and that's what made that conference like collapse. And then they took Oregon and Washington and further disrupted it to where we went from the Pac-12, the Conference of Champions, to like the Pac-2. So like, I mean, Texas wasn't a disruptor to the Big. Like, ask any Big 12 fan, including Oklahoma. I mean, most Texas fans would probably agree with this. Like, those teams weren't disruptors. Like, I think Oklahoma really wasn't. Like, they kind of were just. I mean, they're a great program, but I don't think they were like as much of a disruption. But like, everyone in the Big 12 hated Texas. Like, people forget that because they're in the SEC now, but they could not stand them and their attitudes. And you think Florida State stuff is bad. Like, Texas was way worse. And so the idea that like, oh man, they're a disruptor, we might not, maybe some president of Northwestern said that, a program that doesn't give a crap about football, but nobody with any sense is worried about that. But, on the Big 12 stuff specifically, like I don't really fret very much. I just don't, it would make no sense to me if Florida State did all of this and spent hundreds of millions of dollars between legal fees and whatever they're going to settle with the ACC on, or say they lose to the ACC and pay $500, whatever happens. It would make no sense for them to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in legal fees and settlement fees and everything else, and then end up going to the Big 12 to make another $3 or $4 or $5 million a year. Like, if they do that, Florida State fans are going to have some serious questions that they can ask the leadership in Tallahassee. And I don't think Florida State's leadership is dumb. Like, I don't think that they would do that, take that risk. I mean, even if the money was, say the money was identical, which it essentially is, right? Like $5 million. Even if you could get out scot-free and just go to the Big 12, like, I would rather play the ACC teams that we're familiar with playing. I'd rather lower the travel and be playing in Atlanta and North Carolina. As much as I hate the ACC, it makes no sense to go play games in Colorado and Utah and wherever else that, the Big 12 expands to. And so, yeah, I don't know. I really don't fret about the Big 12 at all. I think it's kind of a marketing thing, like making other teams think, well, if Florida State's going there, if I'm Louisville or Miami or NC State, like, maybe I ought to go there too. But I still don't think Florida State and Clemson end up there.
I think this is more a product of the media. If I could, TJ, I don't know how you read it, but I think this is, and I read the Brett McMurphy story. I worked with Brett for many years when he worked at the Trib, and I know him very well, and he's very well connected. But if you really read that article, he interviewed a few people that are in the SEC involved, and this is not disparaging him at all. It's a very well done article, and these are real quotes, but they're also quotes from people who have an axe to grind against Florida State. And I'm with you. It doesn't make any sense that the Big Ten wouldn't want Florida State. Are there some people within the Big Ten that don't like what they've done? Sure, they're administrators. They don't like people breaking contracts. And by the way, Oklahoma and Texas and all of these others, they didn't have this onerous media rights agreement that their conference made for them, that held them, in change till 2036 at 30 cents on the dollar. So they didn't have to do the crazy stuff that Florida State's had to have done. And if they were in FSU's shoes, they would do the same damn thing. Any one of those athletic directors would do the same damn thing that Florida State's doing, because if they didn't, they'd be doing their fans, their athletes, their entire school a disservice. Am I wrong?
No, not at all. And there are some programs within college football. There's probably, I don't know, I'm not going to list them all out, but there's probably like 15 or 20 that aspire to play big boy football at the highest level. And you know who they are. Pretty much look at the top 25 when it comes out this year, right? And there may be a couple in there that, but outside of that, like, Wake Forest isn't going out there to try and win a national title. Like, they're trying to be competitive. And man, if we could make it to Charlotte every few years or every handful of years, like if we can get a big upset, if we can go to bowl games and get that money, like that's, some teams don't have the goals that Alabama and Florida and Georgia and Florida State have, and that's fine. You can't have 130 teams that are competing for a championship. Like, it's just not realistic. And so Florida State wants to play big boy football, and they don't think they can do that going forward. Clemson's the same way. They don't think they can do that going forward in the ACC. This idea that we are disruptors or we're making things hard. You hit the nail on the head. Texas and Oklahoma didn't have a binding contract till 2036 that was locking them down. Obviously, why would anyone ever want to leave? But do you know how much it costs to leave the SEC? You know what their media rights deal is? Nothing. There is no media rights deal. If you want to leave, you're out. You pay your exit fee, which is like less than $50 million, and you go. And that's it. There's no $500 million. Again, why would anybody ever want to leave the SEC? I get it. But doesn't that just tell you something? Like, the ACC kind of knew, like, we got to trap people. We got to entrap people.
Exactly.
Because it's the fact that the SEC's is zero, right? The Big Ten's non-existent. The fact that those are like that, come on, man. Like that. And they were signed well before, like, the disparity, right? Like, right now, Florida State's making like $44.5 million from the ACC. The Big Ten and SEC are up over 50, just under 60, and they are going to escalate more and more over time. But this was signed like when everybody was making about the same amount, when everybody was like making between $1 and $2 million difference. This wasn't signed like last year. This was signed, and again, why this was signed, why this was done this way, I don't know. Probably because they knew where things were headed. But
look who benefits. Look who benefits on that agreement that the ACC signed. That they have gone through a literal hell and a minefield to keep secret from everybody. this ridiculous the thing that you have to go up into a locked room in Charlotte and you can't take any recording devices or copying devices to view the 10 commandments of the ACC ESPN agreement that is chiseled in stone. I mean, that right there raises a red flag. And the fact is, your ESPN was going to make hundreds of millions of dollars off of Florida State and Clemson, mostly because their media rights were so devalued to 50 cents on the dollar. So look at who it would have benefited, and look at who's pissed off, and look at who owns all the microphones, ESPN. And that's why they're just called disruptors. Yeah, there's tons of people that hate Florida State because they're exposing this bull spit. I mean,
yeah,
it's not hard to figure this out, who these detractors are.
Yeah, you look at the ACC, and they had an opportunity, and you look at the teams and the programs in this conference. But, the ACC, Florida State, obviously, before the college football playoff, Florida State won that last title. They went to a playoff the next year. Clemson, I think, has been in the playoff 4 or 5 times. Notre Dame went one year when they were an ACC member. And so, you look at, I think in 2020, right, when they were actually in the ACC due to COVID. I think they've been other times as well. And so, the ACC, to me, was right there with the Big 12, right? There was a drop down from the Big 10 SEC. There's no doubt. But was right there with the Big 12. And if they would have capitalized on that, you could have gotten other programs to really invest. The big problem is that other programs like BC, they don't care. Syracuse doesn't care, right? Most of these programs just don't care enough to really invest for a long time. And this isn't just the Florida State guy ranting, but for a long time, Miami didn't care. Miami didn't invest. And I think they are now with Mario. I think they've actually reinvested back into football, which as a Florida State fan, maybe you wish they wouldn't, but as a fan of hey, we need to not die as a conference, you're okay, good. Right. Miami's actually playing ball again, let's roll, and so I think that's part of the problem too. You go to these other facilities, and how much money Duke basketball brings in, and they can't start to invest that back into things other than Cameron Indoor, and same thing with other programs. You're Georgia Tech, and I understand you're a technical institute, but you're in Atlanta. There's no excuse for you to not be a really good program. The recruiting ground around you is absurd. Virginia and Virginia Tech in the DMV, everyone goes up there and raids that area. And so you got to invest back into it. And if you don't, then you have 2 big dogs at the top of the conference. Right. You got a few teams like NC State and Miami and others who invest moderately, and then you just got a bunch of leeches, that are taking that money and who knows what they're doing with it.
Yeah. And those are the programs that, I don't know, their athletic directors run the playoff committee and, screw your own conference over. Who would that be? Thank you, Boo Corrigan, my former drinking buddy. Appreciate that. TJ, so where do you think this goes, by the way, TJ? So I've said they'll announce they're getting out, Florida State that is, by August 15th, and I believe they're going to land in the Big Ten because their media rights are very much coveted by all conferences. I think I'm following the money once again, and that whether their FSU is an AAU university or not, I know they're trying to get there, and I think they will. I think the Big Ten takes them. What do you think?
Yeah, I've always thought the Big Ten was a little bit more likely. I think that at the end of the day, they'd really like to get into Florida. And I really don't think the SEC wants them to get into Florida, but I think they want it more than the SEC wants to block them, right? And so I could be wrong on that. The SEC could end up saying, nope, not happening. We're going to block you. But then I think they just get in with Miami anyway. So, why would you spend all the money to block them when they just take Miami, in 2 years anyway. So my thought is still Big Ten, but I do think it's open. I think, I think there's a lot of misdirection. I think there's a lot of, narratives that are being. He does a phenomenal job. He's one of the most well-connected people in the sport, and certainly regarding conference realignment, I still think, and I think everything he says is true. I'm not trying to say anything like he's made up anything, but I do think there are times people write articles because the people who are giving the quotes, the sources, want a certain narrative crafted, right? And I'm not saying
absolutely.
Not saying they're lying. They probably don't like Florida State, and that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I don't care. Who cares? Who cares what Northwestern and Illinois and Rutgers thinks about you? Who cares? And if it's Ohio State, who cares? I don't even care about that. But I know that the people at Ohio State don't not want Florida State in because they understand what it would do for their conference and ultimately for their program. But I think Brett is certainly telling the truth. I just think that it's probably a narrative that they want out there. Like it's advantageous for us, whether it's for negotiation, whether it's for legal reasons to keep us out of trouble, to make it look like we're not tampering, whatever the reason is, those quotes don't mean a hill of beans. When Florida State gets out of the ACC, one of these two big conferences is absolutely going to take them.
I agree 100%. Before you go, a quick thought on this year's football season. Are you going to Dublin? Will you be there for the opener?
I am. I'll be there. I'll actually be in London a month from today. So we're going to London for a few days and then over to Dublin. Taylor Swift just happens to be performing over there, and so that was the bargaining chip to get my wife to sign off on the trip. So Taylor Swift 1 week
in London.
She is, yeah, right before we play. So
wow.
Taylor Swift a week before the Noles take on Georgia Tech. This year I think is it's not. I mean, they could certainly go 12-0 and then obviously win the ACC championship. I'd expect them to drop 1 or 2. I think 9-3 would be kind of your floor. You really need to avoid like an 8-win season. But, I think that you look at like the way the season should start out 5-0, right? And you can't take anybody lightly, but you're a double-digit favorite at a neutral site game in Dublin at like 12 or 14 points, depending on where you look. So you should beat Georgia Tech. You play Boston College, who might be the worst team in the ACC, either them or Stanford. Which is hilarious that they're in the Atlantic Coast Conference. But, you play BC at home. You're like a 25-point favorite there. So you should start 2-0. You play Memphis, who I think is a good team. But, again, then, you're looking at a team that's group of 5. You should win there. Cal comes to town. You should certainly beat Cal. They're not a team that should ever beat you in Tallahassee. And then you got to go on the road to SMU, which I do think SMU is kind of an upstart team and could surprise some people. But I also think, man, that's their first action in the ACC. Your trenches should absolutely whip it. So you should start 5-0. And if you start 5-0, then I think you finish the year at 9 or 10 wins, bottom floor. You'll have Clemson coming the next week after the SMU matchup. So even if you drop that, if you're 5-1, you get to play a couple of the Carolina schools. Like you'll pick up some more pretty easy wins down the stretch. And obviously the big ones are Miami, Notre Dame, and Clemson, and then obviously Florida to end it. But I think they might be playing for their coach's job at that point if he's still around. So I think that you should take care of business with most of this schedule. Clemson, Notre Dame, Miami, Florida, because it's a rivalry. Those are the big ones that you got to watch out for. But outside of that, you really shouldn't be losing any games.
I agree wholeheartedly. All right, TJ, thanks for taking the time away from your Disney jaunt there. Tell everybody how they can get your fine FSU podcast.
Yeah, it's mostly on YouTube, but you can search it on any social media platform. Double Prize, No Slaw. Come check us out.
All right, TJ, thanks, buddy. See you in Dublin.
Thanks, man. Thanks, bye.
Bye. All right. There's also talk that Texas A&M is leaving the SEC and going to the Big Ten. I mean, you can go find quotes on just about everything. And I'm me being the cynical person that I am, I'm always looking at, all right, who benefits from this? Well, the Big 12, I think, is probably the ones who are most putting this stuff out. They want to make Clemson and FSU viable for them. That makes, for them, and they're negotiating their new television deal. If the Big 12 can steal FSU, Clemson, Miami, and North Carolina, take the meat out of the ACC, I mean, that's going to add hundreds of millions of dollars to their media deal. So the Big 12 certainly benefits by this conversation making, and then the Big Ten, I don't think any of these quotes really matter. Are they, unless they're talking to Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner, who's going to publicly say, yes, we're content where we are, because he doesn't want to get sued. I mean, there still are legal issues here, for tampering with the teams that are still in another conference. There are contracts that say you cannot, come in here and try to take our teams from us. So they're not going to come out and say, oh, we're actively trying to get Florida State. Did you ever hear the SEC actively talk about getting Oklahoma and Texas? Did you ever hear them? What did they constantly say? Oh, we're not looking at expanding. We're not looking, and then boom. Big 10 said the same thing. We're not looking at expanding. And then boom, here come the Pac-12 teams. So, all these things, I think fans get put over tizzy, and a lot of it's just nasty stuff from Paul Feinbaum and the ESPN people who do hate Florida State and have an axe to grind and won't put their names on those quotes. There's a lot of people like that. And those quotes should not be taken. They should be taken for what they are. They're people who have an axe to grind, like Paul Feinbaum, like Kirk Herbstreit, who hate Florida State because of the things that they've done, and Florida State fans that were relentlessly crushing them. And so you get what you deserve. So
every time.
Yeah. So Paul Feinbaum's never going to say, "Oh, FSU's." No, they're a disruptor. Nobody wants to play with them. Nobody wants to, if Alabama or his, one of his SEC teams was getting screwed like that, he'd be the first one to stand up and say, "Get the hell out of that conference." So it's a lot of double talk. It's a lot of disingenuousness, and it's axe to grind stuff. And when it comes down to it, Florida State's media rights are worth more than anybody that's going to be a free agent on the market. So if you're the Big Ten, why would you not want them and a footprint in Florida? Of course you would. And and as I said, their media rights are worth what, $100 million a year as estimated that you could sell the games for. You could bring them into the conference. You're making money off them. You bring in, I heard people, this Jeff Swaim guy who seems to, be plugged into everything, says he knows all these things, saying that USF would be a better fit in the Big Ten and is more likely to get in than FSU because USF is an AAU accredited university. Dude.
I mean,
no disrespect to USF, but the Big Ten is not going to give them $80 million a year in revenue when they're bringing in 5% of that in terms of their media rights, when FSU would bring in 120%. I mean, it still does come down to money. This is what these contracts are about. They're about money. They're not about your academics. They're not about who you like better. They're not about, who's a disruptor. No, they're about dollars and cents. And, I don't think, I think that money talks and the rest of that stuff walks. So speaking of media rights, did you see this breaking news? The WNBA, a good friend John Hill just sent me this.
Yeah.
The WNBA rights deal is going to be $2.2 billion. $2.2 billion. Thank you, Caitlin Clark. You think they'll be nice to her now? You think they'll put her in the 3-point shooting contest?
Probably not.
They didn't even put her in a 3-point. Really don't want any viewers watching. Really don't want anybody watching the 3-point contest. Why put her in there?
I mean, I probably would have watched it, right? Like,
of course you would have. Are you going to watch it now? No.
Nope.
Yes. $2.2 billion in new media rights deal with ESPN, Amazon, and NBC that will triple the league's existing annual TV money. Triple.
It's $200 million a year for 11 years. Right? Isn't that that's what I saw?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll pay some salaries and market your league. And I mean, if you know how to do that,
it
doesn't sound like they know how to do it anyway. So I don't know what they're going to do with their money.
Will they be nice to her now? Respect her now? I don't know. Maybe
they won't.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. I'd rather be poor. Kelani L. Kia Hilani. Did I say that right? First time in here, first time commenter. Thank you very much for jumping in. Says, I don't remember USC or Texas having their reputation smeared by their new conference before they joined. This is referencing the article where Big Ten administrators were saying, we don't like Florida State. They're a disruptor. Mm-hmm. Why would we want to bring that in? Look how they treated their last conference. It's so silly. It's so I'm sure they may be saying that, but you do the same damn thing at Purdue or wherever you're at, since you won't put your name on the quote.
You want to attach yourself to it. Yeah, for sure.
Anything else we missed today, my friend?
Didn't Florida's president resign?
He did. I saw that. I think it was because of some issues with his family or something, his family's health.
It's
Ben
not
Sass.
as scandalous as we would all like to make it out to be. It's just for personal reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. And he'd become a bit of a lightning rod because he was appointed by DeSantis and got rid of the DEI stuff at Florida, which is actually something that was voted on to get rid of statewide. So I think, obviously people are going to try to make more of it than it is, but that apparently is what it is. And again, I don't know how that affects the athletic department very much, but I hope his family's health certainly is okay. Also had Bronny James down here. Has he made a 3-pointer yet?
Has he done anything that matters yet?
I feel sorry for that kid. I really
do too. None of this is his fault. None of this is his fault.
Yeah.
And the Lakers came out yesterday. I don't remember who it was. Saying, admitting that, he's a developmental player. He's going to have to split time, and he won't get a lot of court time to start the season. And we're going to need to see a lot of things improve before we feel like he can be a contributing, factor on the team. So all these people that were crying like, oh, he's going to be a day one starter. He's LeBron's kid. He's going to be day one. I'm like, that was never going to be the case, ever.
Yeah, and you don't want to put that pressure on the kid. It'll be nice for him to get a taste of the NBA and play a couple games with his dad, but let's not, and most second round picks are developmental anyway, right? So, not that he would, if his name wasn't Bronny, he wouldn't have been picked. We all know that.
Yep.
But, give the kid a chance. He's still young. I don't know why he came out. I think that was just silly. He should have stayed in college and at least a couple more years and developed this game. But you know why he came out?
His dad.
Because he wanted to play with his dad. He wanted to be first in history to do that. And
so do you think that's more – I get the impression that's more LeBron. I think that was LeBron driven. I think Bronny would have been – if his dad said, you know what, we just need to keep you in school. You need to develop your game a little bit more. I think Bronny would have been completely fine with that. But I think it was his dad that said, you're coming out. We're going to play together. We're going to be the first.
Well, even if it, you think LeBron's ever going to say to his dad, no, Dad, I don't want to do that. I want to stay here.
Exactly.
No. He's not. The poor kid, he's in a bad spot. He's in a really, really bad spot. I think in his heart of hearts, he'd probably want to stay. Yeah. But he's not going to,
And is there any chance that Bronny James can ever be considered successful in the NBA?
No.
He has no shot, right?
No.
It's like Charlie Woods if he goes pro. There's no chance he's ever going to be,
No.
He's going to be compared to his dad constantly.
So don't put yourself through that, and people, please stop with the expectations.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody has any expectations that he would be even close to what LeBron has been. Nobody does, right? No. Just be your own man, young man.
Do your own thing. You probably shouldn't have played basketball.
Go play football for Dion.
All
right, Timmy, thank you very much. As always, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you all. Don't forget to like and subscribe on our Facebook and YouTube channels and all the podcast stuff as well. We will see you on Monday as training camp is upon us next week. See you then.